Chuck, I mean, you know, we've been in contact for many years to try to get me to play here. The problem is, until now, I've always chickened out. For certain reasons. I mean, the one is stress related. Going into Europe, I've played all over Europe. That has always been easy for me. But coming to the States, it's like nobody plays in the States live. I mean, it's a one-time opportunity. Now, somehow, we got it worked out. So this, for me, was first of all a unique experience. We knew each other. Not from heart, but we knew each other as not as friends, but as colleagues. I know you've been working hard to promote electronic music, space music in America. You're doing almost the same stuff that I do. I've got a radio show in the Netherlands that goes on the internet. You do festivals, concerts. You're a musician. I'm a musician. I do concerts. I do festivals. The only thing you don't have is your own label. But for the rest, there are a lot of similarities. And I've always found a certain connection to this kind of electronic musicians who don't coop up in a studio, but who wants to get it out there, who wants to spread it, to bring it to the people, to get it out into the open. I've always related to these kind of people. So I was really happy when we could make this 18th of March concert. First of all, I must say, I'm somebody who is really relaxed on concerts. I'm not like we talked about this before. I'm not nervous. As soon as you sent me a list of synthesizers that I could borrow from you. Thank you very much for that, by the way. And bringing them over and packing them up again, and bringing them over and packing them up again. But that's the thing why we could make this work. If I had to haul over all my gear, that would financially would be a disaster. Our scene is too small for that. Pity enough, because I think that for our scene, this should be in America. You should have at least the same amount of visitors, say 200, 300 people to come to a certain festival or to a certain concert. Somehow, perhaps America is too big, too far away, too spread out to get these 300, 400 people in one room. And that's a pity, because I think there would be, there is potential to have nice events here in America with 200 and 300 people, and then you can even put on bigger gigs and better things. That said, my experience here was unique. First of all, the location. When we went to the location and we saw the church from the outside, and I've seen pictures. I mean, first of all, I've seen the pictures, but when you actually see it and you know you're going to play in there, and I love churches. I played in lots of churches. There's some atmosphere in churches that you can't get anywhere else. That was fantastic. I walked in, and that was the man opening the door for me, and he shook my hand. He made you feel welcome, you know. The same thing here. I came Friday here. The trip, we won't mention the trip. The trip was dreadful. But as soon as we met on Friday, and I came here into the studio, I could set up my gear and I could start doing things. I have my wife this week with me, and she has the same connection. It is like home. It feels like home. It feels like, although we've never been here before, it feels like security. We know we are liked here. There is a certain feeling, a click. Some people call it a click. That is there. Friday evening was, for me, although I was really tired, fantastic to work out the sounds, to do a little bit of testing. You had your good friends here that gave me some feedback. Because it's America, it's different than the European scene musical wise. Am I on the right track doing this kind of stuff or doing this kind of stuff? The concert itself was magic, to be honest. I think it's one of the highlights of my live performing career because of the venue. The venue was lovely. But also I was in a certain easiness for the concert. I had prepared it really well. It's probably the best prepared concert I've been to, because I was really scared to play here in the US. So, but I had a certain easiness to it. I knew my stuff. I knew what I wanted to do. Everything worked out as I wanted to do. And the people in the hall who came up to me, and I had fans in the hall. There are people coming from New York, from Boston, who came specially to see me. I mean, imagine that somebody comes to come to you and drive 600, 1,000 miles to come and look for you for a concert. That's a unique experience. That's something you will tell your kids. You can tell your grandkids, your daddy, somebody came 1,000 miles to see your daddy play in the US. And yes, your daddy played in the US. That's gold. That's gold in your heart. For me, a real experience was the night concert during the 2 and 3 o'clock here at XPN. I mean, I've never done real night concerts after a normal concert, because normally you build up a certain peak, and I did 2 sets. So the first set and the second set, and the second set was a little bit more dramatic with the music from Acoustic Shadows, which is personal for me. That's also when I did a little talk to the people and explained about the music. And then you come and you have that height, and then you come to a studio and you have to do a 1-hour ambient show. And there are a few people sitting beside the wall, and you had your pizza, you had your water, and you sit down and you somehow unwind. There is a certain serenity, I think that's a good word for it. Serenity, calmness, that brings you to a certain level, because the music has to be different. It can't be the more powerful stuff in the church. It has to be more quiet, because it's in the middle of the night. People might be, you pointed that out to me, people might be in bed. I had planned to do Acoustic Shadows, and when you said, well, there will be people in bed, I thought, well, you can't do Acoustic Shadows. I mean, when you have that bong, people will have a nightmare. Well, what happens? So I did tune out some things during in the last hour before the concert. I did tune out some things that I had planned, and I thought, well, you better don't do that. But it brought me in a Zen state. And while I was a little bit rehearsing, I saw the people. There were a few people in the studio room there, sitting on a couch, having a nice wine, having also some pizza. And I saw from them the reaction that they did, and they were all they had worked hard for us. They had brought in cases, flight cases, synthesizers, mixers, speakers. They built up everything, and they came to the same Zen moment that I had. I saw them winding down. I saw them becoming calm. And then you did the announcement, and I got the okay to start, and I had a little drone running, and for me that was a really strange hour, because that hour has probably been the shortest hour in my life. While I was playing, I saw Monique, my wife, slowly dozing off. She had been awake more than 20 hours. So I saw the other people also getting into a calmness and into a certain state that I felt, if I can have that, what I do now here in the studio with these people, and if I can translate that to the people at home, that is a good feeling. That is something that I really wanted to do. I want to have that. That experience, that's second to none. That's really a second to none. And overall, we love America. I mean, it's that you're too far away to come over each year. But for instance, England and America are our favorite vacation spots. Each year I go to England at least once or twice a year, just to breathe a certain atmosphere in the country. This city, this country has that same atmosphere for us. Even with the new president, it still has the same atmosphere for us. As we come in, there is a sense of wideness, a sense of freedom, a sense of there is so much going on. Where we notice that Holland is a small country. Everybody knows each other. Everybody has connections to each other. Whereas you're here, everything is fresh, everything is new, everything is nice. There is a certain nice warm atmosphere to it. For me, it's been an experience, and I'm looking forward to the next weeks. We're going to stay here a little bit longer, and we're going to do a little bit of round trip. And one of the things that I've wanted to do since I was about 18, 19 years old is stand on Little Round Top, which is a hill of the American Civil War. I've always been drawn to the American Civil War in some sort. So we're going to Gettysburg for 3 days and roam around there, see the Dutch Pennsylvania area, get the connection there. We're going to New York, and I've been to New York, so I've booked a stay on Central Park, and we're going to see Central Park, and we're going to see Broadway, perhaps see a show there. There are certain things nowadays. Everybody's calling it a bucket list. I hate that term. Really hate that term, because I don't have a bucket list. But there are 3-4 things in my life that I really wanted to do, and one of the things that I'm going to do is now Little Round Top and New York, and a concert in America, live on radio, and in a fantastic church. How beautiful can life be? I mean, you see here a very, very happy person. I've always been positive, but somehow the energy that I got from the last 3-4 days that I've been here, even with the little sleep we had, I mean, we stayed up until 4, and you even longer than that, and I was up this morning again at 10, but I don't. It gives so much energy. It's like having the best how do you say it, vitamins and minerals and stuff brought to you, and you can go on and on and on. I know I'm rambling. It's my person. I told you before with the interview, once I get started, I'll keep talking, but you see one of the happiest people you have ever made coming over to America. I had breakfast in America, and that is superb.